Hi there, it's Chris, the Typical Gaming, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do some pretty cool gore effects that you can put on scenery. You can even use it on some models as well if you want to do like some really cool like Nurgle conversions and stuff like that. Or the way this has turned out, corn conversions as well would probably work pretty well. So the inspiration for this protein reclamator comes from the December 2019 White Dwarf. In the back of it there's a big Necromunda section, and it shows you like creating and painting up a custom made protein reclamator using Games Workshop bits. And I'm not going to spend that much money on one kit, so instead I spent a lot of money on a whole bunch of kits from TT Combat. For me, £70 is a lot of money. But to make a reclamator like in the article would cost £188. This whole set fills a table for a fraction of the cost and looks just as cool. It was a clear winner. In the white box deals they did it around the Christmas and New Year, and I got the Pybus Power Plant set, and it's got huge tables worth the gear in there, which I'm busy working through, painting up and stuff, and nearly done, thank God. There is a lot of stuff, but the Mega Turbine is what really made me want to get that kit. It's awesome, you can fit plenty of people on there. I've got pictures that you'll see at the end of the video showing some Escher models on there, and basically I'm just going to show you how to make this really cool gore effect, and I love how this has turned out. So let's get straight into it. To create the fleshy remains we'll be using PVA glue and super glue, and using something to stir it up with. I'm using a kebab skewer. I'd already painted the kit, so any areas that the gore didn't cover would be painted already. It was just sprayed with black paint, silver paint, and then black and brown washes to grime it up a bit. Pour the PVA onto where you want the mess to be. I'm covering the blades and slopping some onto the walls of the turbine. It's also a good idea to put a little on the walkways too, just to give it some extra visual interest. I also add some body parts from my bits box into the glue, as if they've recently been thrown in or just haven't been fully processed just yet. Now we'll add some super glue to the PVA. Super glue will react with the PVA and start to cure in this really strange clumping way. Using the stirrer, mix it round and you'll notice it's starting to make a nasty pattern, which is perfect for what we want. Use plenty of super glue and keep mixing. The glue curing on top will stop the PVA from shrinking as much as it dries, so it keeps more of the raised areas, ideal for burying the body parts in. Super glue also forms a hard shell, which would be good if you were using this on a model or vehicles for conversions. Just gives it that little bit of rigidity. I left the glue to set for about half an hour or so. This was to ensure that the super glue had cured and the PVA was well on its way too. It will remain a bit mushy because the PVA underneath the super glue shell won't dry as fast because the air won't get to it as easily. I'd suggest using a cheap brush for this step because any wet glue that gets on your brush could ruin it. I had to give this brush a good clean after doing this blade, and then I switched to a cheap brush to finish the piece off camera. Using blood for the blood god, I painted over all of the glue, remembering to paint any that I added to the walkways and to the walls of the turbine. I even splashed them up onto the tops of the walls and a little onto the walkways too, just to simulate some particularly nasty spray. When the glue is fully cured, you may find that some of the PVA shrinking has caused some white veins to show. I just add a little more paint to them to cover them up. I only found this issue on about 2 of the blades though, so your experience may vary. Once it's dried, it's ready to go on your tabletop. That issue of White Dwarf contains some great rules for implementing a protein reclamator into your games, complete with rules for activating the blades. If you enjoyed this tutorial, I'd massively appreciate if you could give me a like and a subscribe, and there's links to my social media in the description down below.